Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun, and today Carlos King is talking with Mariah Huq. Let's just get into it. So Carlos has shown up to Sleek Studios. Mariah looks absolutely beautiful. So Mariah gives him a tour of Sleek Studios, and here you can do your podcast. Here you can have events, you can have meetings. They have monthly memberships and then weekly memberships. And I think it's really beautiful to know what she's doing. I've seen her with Buffy talking about Sleek Studios too. Let's keep going. Mariah has really made something for herself with this studio, right? Not only does she give people a space to create, but she is creating herself, and she is about to create her own talk show. She said her first guests are T.I. and Ralph Tresvant. I'm down for the Ralph Tresvant interview. Good for you, Mariah. I love it. Mariah Huq is truly weaved all through the fabrics of Married to Medicine. Her hands was on everything except for the name. She said that it took her 4 years to shop it. Once it was picked up, other people came, and she had a TLC decision or Bravo decision. She chose Bravo because she felt like the audience was better, and that was a great choice. But she also tried to maximize her moment and have the show on Bravo, but do like little shows that would accent it on TLC. But TLC said, no, if you're not all in, you can't be here. But she tried it. So I don't know if Mariah was clearing anything up, but she created the show and she's the EP on the show. So she gets paid, she said, differently for both. Carlos asked, does she get 2 checks? She told him she gets a cute coin. And then he went on to talk about how can she do all these things for Married to Medicine. And he asked her, does she feel like she was pushed out? She said, absolutely. She felt like that. Mariah said that her contract had worn out. And what she did not realize is that was always the goal, to push her out as being the talent creator and from the talent perspective. She said that they don't want you to have more than what they think you should have. I think that's unfortunate. Mariah said she felt like she was prematurely pushed out of the show. And since it has backfired on the show, I agree with her about that. But she said when she was in it, she was fair across the board. She said she never thought she was the queen bee. And when it came to money, it was just fair. It wasn't this person gets this, Quad gets this because they're doing this. And she said she was just fair. But she said when it had come down to it, they had to have a vessel to push her off. And she said those ladies did not come to her defense. And that hurt her more than anything. And I can see that. Because if you gather people to start something and those same people put you out, that is crazy. She said she felt discriminated against. And that hurt her a lot. So Carlos asked Mariah about what Quad said in his interview, because Quad said that Mariah was going around saying that this is not Married to Medicine, this is Married to Mariah. But Mariah clears all that up. She said, yes, she said that. She said because the ladies knew she was going through a battle behind the scenes. And her saying, I'm married to Mariah and I'm the queen bee, was so that everybody else could see her. She's an executive producer. She's a creator for the show. And had she not stood up for herself, she would have just been a doctor's wife who was on a show and now off the show. I get that. So it wasn't for the ladies. It was for production. One thing for sure is we don't know these people. We just know who we see on television. We choose who we want to ride with, and that's how we go. We don't know their backstory. We don't know if they're really friends, and we out here just talking crazily. You know what I'm saying? But what was it about Mariah? Because it seems like the women really disliked her. She said one of the ladies, she did not specify, came to her and said she was sent to put the nail in her coffin. And then she said another lady went to pre-production to say, if I talk to Mariah, will I get fired? I mean, what could Mariah have done to these women? Or what? Is it jealousy? Because Mariah has given these women a platform. We are currently watching them now, and she is not even on the show. That's what I'm talking about. We don't know what really went on, but it's something that happened. Let's keep going. So Carlos brings up the conversation he had with Quad and Quad and Simone's situation. Quad said that Simone came to her and said, I can't talk to you because Toya's going to be mad at me and I can't have her mad at me. That is crazy. I agree with her 100% what she said about Letitia, Sweet Tea. These women have already formulated in their minds that they don't want her to sit with them. And Letitia is literally fighting a battle that she's already lost, as Mariah said. They don't have, I mean, even Toya, I feel like even though Toya tolerates her and she appears, you know what I mean? Maybe it's genuine, but it doesn't come off like that. And I don't care what Sweet Tea does. It's like she just cannot win with these ladies. Carlos asked Mariah if she thought that Quad's karma for treating her like that was her getting voted off. And she said she doesn't think it's the karma. She said she thinks that Quad is getting a dose of her own medicine. And she said the ladies should not be focused on who's getting more TV time. They shouldn't be plotting and planning and pushing people out. They should just show up and do their best. Because nobody should be looking at that. And that's what she was trying to prevent when she was on the show. Mariah said the women during the voting out situation, it became a narrative when production wanted somebody to leave. So they would do it through the women. So if they were tired of somebody, voting out is an actual thing that they would do. That's really messed up. Mariah says she doesn't understand why Quad is still on Married to Medicine, right? Because she's not Married to Medicine, but she should have had a spinoff. And Carlos was shocked, but she said that it should have shown her and Greg's life when they departed that transition, her dating, and went from there. I agree with that. Because like she said, that's still Married to Medicine, but we're getting a different avenue of it. I think that would have been great. We all want to see Quad dating. That makes so much sense. Child, so Carlos told Mariah, you know, I have talked to Quad, right? And Quad kind of saw y'all as a Thelma and Louise. She said, no, she didn't. I did, but she didn't. She said that if you look at season 1 reunion, Quad was ready to throw her under the bus. And she had gone to talk to people in California, and they told her that she should be number 1, not number 2. And Mariah said she wanted to be a duo with Quad. She always wanted that. She wanted the Thelma and Louise. And I'm going to tell y'all how y'all be saying in these comments. I believe every word Mariah said. So then Carlos goes on to say everything that was said in his interview with Quad, that Mariah was jealous. They got into it at STK. Drinks were thrown. Mariah said, absolutely not. That is not what it is, and I'm not jealous of anyone. I believe every word that Mariah has said. Mariah said it's just crazy that all this information had come out about her and Quad getting into it and she being jealous. She said she did not look at Quad not being a breakout star. She said any otherwise she wouldn't have put her on the show. She said she didn't think that about any other woman because basically what she's saying is the women she picked, anybody could have been a breakout star. And I could be a little ignorant saying this, right? But Mariah was dealt a bad hand. I don't know everything that has gone on in the background. I'm not about to sit here and say I know for sure. But the way I see it, she was dealt a bad hand. So Carlos inferred that Quad got married to Greg to be Married to Medicine. Because she was saying, you know, Quad used to go with her cousin. Maybe that's why Quad and Greg's relationship was just so disconnected. Maybe she never really felt like that about Greg. She just really wanted to be Married to Medicine. Now, that's just what I got, y'all. But she also said that she feels like Quad is not pushed out of the show. She said she feels like she'll be back, but they're just trying to humble her. I can agree with that also. Mariah said, although she is happy that the show has lived 10 seasons, it is not living up to what she wanted the show to be. I agree with that. Like me, Mariah is confused about this collaboration with Carlos and the dentist. She said she is so confused. Very. Her comment about the dentist basically is saying that she has no imagination or thought of her own because she's relying on what people are saying in the comments because she reads all of them and she regurgitates what she thinks people wants to hear. I'm going on to part 2. I'll be back. Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun, and I'm back with my part 2 of Carlos King's interview with Mariah Huq. Let's get into it. So I left off with them talking about the dentist and her not having any imagination of her own. And then she said, in what world would Jackie and the dentist be friends? They both agreed that is no world that even exists. So then Carlos goes on to say, he wants people to have eyeballs on this show. And Mariah asked him a real question. Why do you want them to have eyeballs on the show so bad? So, his pivot was because it's a black show, black creators. He doesn't want it to go away. It was good, but she kept on. So Carlos is saying, because it's a black show, black people are marginalized on shows. And she said, well, how can you just go so hard for a show that's marginalized your girl? So he had to take a breath and get into it, because he was saying that in him wanting so many eyes on the show, it's a way, because she's the creator and she's the executive producer, of giving her flowers. And also he said it's a way of preserving and keeping Mariah's legacy alive. I don't know if Mariah believed that, but that was a good pivot, Carlos. P.S. This is how me and Mariah feels about what Carlos said about him doing this, is him giving her flowers. Like, I just don't think she bought it. I didn't buy it. But like I said, it was good. And he went on to say that's what's happening with scripted shows, that a lot of black shows are being canceled. And the reason he goes so hard is so that Merited Medicine doesn't just fade in the back. I mean, okay, Carlos, but this is our sentiment. I don't know if you got this, but this is how I got it. It felt like Carlos was trying to take a little credit for keeping Married to Medicine on our frontal lobe. He said outside of Mariah, Quad, the dentist, and Toya, he doesn't feel like the other ladies appreciate him giving Married to Medicine a voice. And then Mariah is like, if you feel like that, how do you think I feel? Because I gave them a platform. At that moment, he had to kind of sit back and say, I get you. Because we all give Married to Medicine a voice, right? Every week. But the hand that Mariah was dealt, I don't think they appreciate her for giving them the ability to be on our TVs every week. I'm riding with Mariah. Mariah says she feels like the ladies gave her their asses to kiss. And she also told Carlos that she appreciates him giving this show a voice, right? And she touched on that Simone was appreciative of allowing her to live out Mariah's dream. And she went ahead and thanked him for giving the show a voice and all of that. But Mariah, like she said, this is her baby. They can't get rid of her. We always talk about how she's needed. And I just feel like she was done really wrong. And the more you listen to this, the more you kind of feel like that. She also said that she felt like it was a smack in the face for the way the show turned out for her, right? But when Carlos mentioned earlier about this show being her legacy, she says yes, because this is my children's legacy. This is generational wealth. She says she hates the narrative of her using medication as to be part of her story. And that is real crazy, because she says she's never taken any drugs in her life. They just didn't do Mariah right. And then she went on to let him know, like, how could she be proud of the legacy when the legacy accused her of substance abuse, right? And she was like, she worked for the top pharmaceutical company in the world. And how dare they do that? And the fact that the women who are in medicine and the people in medicine on the show didn't come to her defense, that's really messed up. Oh, I hate that for Mariah. Okay. So now we know who told Mariah that she was sent to put the nail in her coffin. It was Simone. And Mariah said that she had allegiance to Simone. Simone is the one who brought life into her family. Simone delivered her babies, her sister's babies. And she said she believes Quad. When Quad said that Simone came and said she can't be in a conversation with her or friendship with her because it would make Toya mad. So people are thinking Quad is the problem, but it's really Simone. Oh my goodness. The dentist never fails, right? I forgot about her writing on Mariah's poster. Just elementary at its best. And Mariah says she created her vibe, right? And she felt violated, as she should. Let me keep going. So we're getting ready to wrap it up. And Carlos says that, Mariah is epic to the show. But now, and she interrupts him and says, it's Quad's show. And he was like, well, Quad is needed on the show. Not that she can carry the entire show by herself. I don't think she could. But because it's an ensemble cast, Quad brings something to the show. And I do believe that. I do think Quad needs to be on the show. We are definitely missing something. And he's told the dentist on their recaps that it is boring. And it is boring. What do y'all think about it? So Carlos was saying that the dentist got her YouTube channel during COVID, and he was telling her you need to do the best thing for the show. And it sounded like they were going to ice out Mariah. But I feel like at that time, the dentist had to just go on with what was going on, right? And then they went on to say, Mariah said, look how they're treating Sweet Tea. Look how they treated Buffy. And we all like Buffy on the show, right? And then Mariah was like, they iced Buffy out because she went against Jackie. Carlos was like, I heard that Jackie was the true villain. And we got the answer from Mariah. And she said, abso-hucking-lutely. And I hear that a lot. I actually hear that Jackie works through the dentist. And the dentist does all of Jackie's work. What do y'all think about that? I can't wait till next week. This was really good. It's your girl, Millie Chun, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.